I'm Mark, 50, and I've been married to my wife, Julia, 48, for 25 years. We met in college, back when I was finishing my degree and working at a campus coffee shop. Julia was a junior, studying hard, her dark hair falling over her notes as she sat alone in the shop. I was smitten the moment she smiled at me. The next day, I timed my lunch break to see her again, and to my surprise, she joined me at my table. We talked for an hour, and by the end, I'd asked her out. That was the start of everything. Our first date, our love, our life together. Julia came from a big family, 5 siblings, and her parents couldn't help with her tuition. She worked part-time, barely scraping by, while I just landed a full-time management job after graduation. A few months into dating, I offered to cover some of her college costs. She hesitated, but accepted, and it felt right to support her. She graduated with honors, landed a great job, and we built a life together. Those early years were electric, passionate, adventurous, full of late-night talks and wild moments. Julia had more experience than me, having partied a lot before we met, but it never bothered me. She made me feel special, saying I was the first to truly care about her needs. I worked hard to keep her happy, always putting her first. We married young, and a few years later, I chased a dream to start my own sports team. It was grueling, long hours, little sleep, constant travel. We bought a big house and money was tight. Julia's salary outpaced mine, which sparked some arguments, but we were a team. She traveled with me for team events most weekends before kids, though I missed family gatherings and her friends' weddings. She went alone, always supportive, even taking beach trips with her single friends to unwind. She loved the beach, the waves, the sand, the sun, and I love that it made her happy. 5 years into our marriage, I found photos from her bachelorette party while looking for team pictures. She described it as drinks and dancing, but the photos showed a stripper, lots of alcohol, and Julia dancing with him, clearly enjoying it. The last photo stunned me. The stripper, fully naked, with Julia's hand on him. I confronted her, heart pounding. She said she didn't mention the stripper to avoid making me jealous, admitting her friends egged her on while she was drunk. She insisted that was it. My bachelor party had been wild too. Her brothers went overboard, so I tried to let it go. But it bugged me that she'd left out those details, especially since she knew everything about my night. A seed of doubt grew about her beach trips, though I pushed it down. Life moved on. After our 5th anniversary, the team started making money, and we decided to have kids. We had 2 for years apart, and those years were golden. Between their births, Julia and I were closer than ever. Passionate, adventurous, even making some spicy online content together, just us. She stopped that a few years ago, saying she wanted privacy. We always agreed that involving others was a deal breaker. Julia was clear that cheating would end our marriage, no questions asked. I felt the same, but Julia started resenting the team. She later told me it annoyed her that I got all the attention, local TV interviews, awards, when she'd sacrificed so much to help build it. I didn't see it then. With young kids, she traveled with me less, staying home while I invited her to every event. After her dad died, a man I'd grown to admire despite his initial doubts about me, Julia quit her job to go back to school, following his career path. I supported her, even though it meant me juggling work, the team, and our kids while paying for her degree. We made it work. Microwave dinners, daycare runs, kids at team events. It was tough, but rewarding. A few years ago, I surprised Julia with a beach trip for a second honeymoon. It was amazing, better than our first, with more passion and connection. But after, things changed. Julia stopped joining me for team trips, instead planning beach vacations during my busiest season, saying, "Come if you want, but I'm going." She took the kids and her family, leaving me out. It hurt, but I didn't think she was meeting anyone. 2 years ago, Julia started talking about a coworker, Greg. She'd mentioned his smarts, his ideas, how they'd become fast friends, unusual for her. It set me on edge. At a company outing, a bus trip with spouses, I met him. He was tall, overweight, but the way he looked at Julia screamed attraction. On the bus home, Julia asked me not to sit with her so she could sleep. I suspected Greg would take my seat, and near the end of the trip, he did, chatting with her for 30 minutes. She said it was about a work project, but my gut screamed otherwise. Things got worse. Julia started sleeping in a separate room, blaming my snoring. I offered to move instead, but soon our intimacy stopped completely. She cited medical issues, the kids overhearing, excuses that didn't add up given our history. I asked if there was someone else, and she got defensive, shutting me down. I regretted asking. It might have made her hide things better. A month ago, I found her phone buzzing at midnight. She usually left it charging downstairs, and I was sleeping there that night. I guessed her password and saw a text from Greg, how he missed her, wanted to see her. Messages were deleted, especially intimate ones, but the context showed love, hugs, and romantic emojis. They had selfies from work events, captioned like they were a couple. No explicit proof of an affair, but it felt clear. Julia had opportunity. My long hours, her late work, business trips, and her resentment gave her motive. She'd also started drinking heavily, another red flag. The next day, I asked my oldest kid if Greg was married, thinking they'd know from their internship at Julia's company. They told Julia, who stormed in my office. Furious, I'd checked her phone. She denied everything, admitting only to the texts I saw, claiming it was just friendship. She blamed me for pushing her to Greg emotionally, saying I didn't trust her. I stayed calm, saying it looked suspicious, but I had no hard proof. She stormed out, and since then, she's hidden her phone, changed passwords, and offered to show it to me, knowing she's smart enough to cover her tracks. I'm stuck. I love Julia. She's brilliant, beautiful, an amazing mom, but I can't stay with someone lying or cheating. I want the truth, not half answers. I messed up too, working too much, missing her signals, but I've always tried to give her a good life. I need advice or proof to move forward. Relevant comments. Commenter, AUS Frosty. The truth you seek is that your wife is emotionally involved with another man. She is already cheating emotionally, and yeah, there may be reasons for that, but that's the plain fact. If you want to try and save your marriage, then I would ask her if she would consider marriage counseling rather than obsessing whether the relationship is also physical. If there is absolutely no way you could bear it if she's physically cheating and or your wife is not interested in counseling, then sure, if you have the resources, PI is the way to go. Opie's response. Thanks. I have asked her 3 times to go to a marriage counselor and told her I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things better between us, and she flat out refuses. Commenter, AUS Frosty. What was her reason for refusing counseling? Opie's response. She said we don't need it. We can work any issues out ourselves. To which I said, let's talk about this right now and at least start working on us. She starts to yell that I don't trust her, etc. each time I've brought it up. She gets mad and walks out. Commenter 1. Your wife's behavior. Hiding texts, separate bedrooms, dismissing your concerns. Screams she's checked out of the marriage. The bachelorette photos and beach trips are red flags too. You deserve honesty. Have you considered talking to Greg's wife if he's married? She might know something. Opie's response. I thought about reaching out to Greg's wife, but I don't know her and my kid didn't confirm if he's married. I'm worried it'd backfire and make Julia angrier. The beach trips always bugged me, but I trusted her then. Now I'm questioning everything. Commenter 2. I feel for you, man. 25 years is a long time, and this sounds painful. Julia's resentment about your team might explain why she's pulling away, but it doesn't justify lying or texting Greg like that. Try sitting her down one more time, calmly, and lay out how her actions make you feel. If she won't talk, a lawyer might be your next step to protect yourself. Opie's response. Thanks for the support. I tried talking again last night, and it went the same. Her yelling, me trying to stay calm, no answers. I'm starting to think about legal options, but it's hard to imagine losing her and our life together. Downvoted commenter 1. You're overreacting. Those texts don't prove anything physical, and you violated her privacy by checking her phone. No wonder she's mad. You've been gone all the time with your team, so maybe she just needed a friend. Work on yourself instead of playing detective. Opie's response. I get that I shouldn't have checked her phone, but I was desperate for answers after months of her pulling away. I've been gone for work, but I always invited her, and she chose to stay back. I'm not perfect, but I don't think I deserve this secrecy. Update 1 to 2 months later, September 8th, 2020. Hey everyone, it's Mark with an update. Thanks for your advice. It gave me clarity to keep trying with Julia. A lot's happened in 2 months, and I'm still reeling from some of it. I'll break it down to keep things clear. First, Julia and I have been working on our marriage. After my post, I sat her down again, calmer this time, and said I wanted us to fix things, not fight. She agreed to try, and we've been more open. We've been intimate again, more in the last month than the whole past year. And it's felt like old times, passionate and close. She's given me full access to her phone and social media. Greg still texts her, but she replies with short, work-related answers, like okay, or will do. He seems to want more, but she's keeping it professional. On the surface, it's progress, and I want to believe she's choosing us. But some things still bother me. For our anniversary, I went all out. Her favorite dessert, flowers, a surprise delivery to her office. When I showed up, she burst into tears, saying I don't deserve this, over and over. She wouldn't explain, just kept crying. It happened again at home that night. It felt like guilt, but when I asked, she shut down. I'm torn between hope and doubt. Then there was the GPS thing. One day, Julia said she was going to lunch with coworkers, adding, you'll see it on the GPS you're tracking me with, so I'm telling you. I wasn't tracking her, I didn't even know how to do that, but she didn't let me respond. I let her think I was, hoping it'd keep her honest, but it bugged me that she assumed I'd spy on her. It's like she's projecting her own secrecy onto me. The biggest shock came last night. Julia told me she had a son as a teenager before we met and gave him up for adoption. His name's Caleb, and he's reached out, wanting to meet her and his half-siblings, our kids. She showed me his photo. He doesn't look like her, probably takes after his dad. She met him at a family wedding last year while I was at a team event, and they've been talking on social media. She plans to tell our kids this weekend and arrange a meeting. She was firm that I have no say since he's her biological son, not mine, but our kids are his half-siblings. I'm overwhelmed. I love our family, but this feels like another secret she kept for 25 years. I'm trying to save our marriage, but these incidents, her guilt, the GPS accusation, Caleb's existence, make me question everything. Any advice on handling this, especially the adoption news, would help. More comments. Commenter, Spidey_uncle. So did she have an affair or not? Opie's response. Emotional, for sure. Physical, I'm still not 100% sure. She won't admit to it, but all signs point to yes. I'm treating it like it went that far, proof or not. Commenter, shocking first bullet. For things like this, I think the best approach is to take it slow for everyone's emotional well-being. Maybe you and her can take him out for lunch one day and just spend a day getting to know him, and then the kids maybe after that. Opie's response. He is quite a ways away, so it would have to be a planned thing to meet him. I think you're right. Slow is best for everyone. This could really change how my children look at their mother. I think they always thought she was perfect. She has been a great mother, so that will never change no matter what, even if her and my relationship changes. Thanks for the advice. Update 2 to 1 year later, October 12th, 2021. Hey everyone, it's Mark again. I got a lot of messages after my story was featured on a YouTube channel, so here's where things stand. It's been a tough year, and I've got a lot to share, but I'll keep it focused. Julia and I are divorced. I tried everything to save our marriage. Open talks, therapy offers, giving her space to come clean, but she never stopped texting Greg, showed no remorse, and kept blaming me for her actions. She never gave me the full truth about their relationship, and I hit my limit. The divorce was messy. I lost my retirement savings and other assets, but kept the house and the sports team. It was worth it to move on. I'm healing, finding joy again, and my brother's family has been my rock. I still think about Julia sometimes. It hurts, but I'm better every day. The adoption situation with Caleb unfolded slowly. Julia told our kids about him a few days after my last update. I was there, expecting them to be upset, but they were curious, even excited about a half-brother. They haven't met him yet. He lives far away, and Julia's been handling the planning, but they want to someday. I stayed out of it, respecting Julia's stance, but it's weird knowing my kids have a sibling I'm not connected to. As for Greg, I heard through mutual contacts that Julia and he had a falling out. She seems to dislike him now, maybe because he moved on after our divorce. I don't know the details and don't want to. My kids are still in my life, but it's different. My older one probably knew about Julia and Greg, but won't admit it, saying they didn't want to cause drama. My younger one was clueless. I love them, but there's a distance, especially with my older kid. We're working on it. I'm focusing on the team, my kids, and rebuilding. Thanks for all the support. It helped me see I deserve better. More comments. Commenter, odd, damage, 4689. Read your other 2 posts. Scare you can't even trust your own kids. What was their reaction to divorce? Did they admit to knowing about affair? What's your feeling towards them? Did they meet their half-brother? Is your ex-wife with AP now? Opie's response. I'm still talking to my kids, but the relationship is different now. The younger one did not know anything was going on. The older, I think, did, but won't admit to anything. Says that they were trying to avoid conflict. I have very mixed feelings, but I still want them in my life. I was there when she told the kids. They both said they want to meet their half-brother, but as of today, they have no plan on meeting him. I was amazed how they reacted. They seemed happy to hear they had a half-brother out there and didn't seem bothered at all that their mom hid this for their whole lives. Something happened, I have no idea what, and I really don't want to know, but she seems to hate Greg now. He probably dumped her now that she's single. Commenter, modern plaza slave. Note to self, don't get married. Commenter, 3. I'm so sorry you went through this, Mark. 25 years is a lifetime, and Julia's secrecy must have been devastating. It's great you kept the team and house. Those are big wins. How are you holding up with the kids' distance? And are you dating again, or just focusing on yourself? Commenter, 4. Julia's behavior sounds like classic deflection, blaming you, hiding her phone, crying about guilt but not explaining. The adoption reveal is wild, but it's good your kids took it well. Have you thought about meeting Caleb yourself, just to understand his role in your family's future?